Okay. Now, this next portion is designed to introduce you to the T probability distribution. The T probability distribution. The T probability distribution, or the T just simply called the T distribution, is the probability distribution for, or the sampling distribution. Sampling distribution and probability distributions can be used interchangeably at this point. The T probability distribution, which is found on page 388 in your SPATS book. I have also uploaded a PDF file, a PDF copy of the T probability distribution, just that page, and I'm going to refer to it here using the SPATS book. The T distribution is used to solve problems as they relate to the mean. In other words, the T probability distribution is a sampling distribution that's based on the mean. Again, the T probability distribution is the sampling distribution that's based on the mean. Okay? Now, in terms of its shape, in terms of the shape of the T probability distribution, I have some good news for you. I think if you don't really dig working with the normal probability distribution, this might not be good news for you. But this is the approximate shape of the T probability distribution. I hope it looks familiar because it is designed to be approximately normal. The T probability distribution, which is, again, the sampling distribution for the mean, the T probability distribution is approximately normal. What that means is that it is symmetrical. We could cut it in half and have two mirror images of each other. It is roughly bell-shaped. Okay, those are two of the three properties of the probability distribution we were working with earlier. In addition, and you've seen this before, but bear with me, please. Once you move 3 units outside of the middle, meaning 3 units, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. Once you have moved 3 units either way around the middle, you have encompassed almost all of it, the vast, vast majority of it. However, what were the units that helped us navigate the perfectly normal probability distribution? Do you remember what those units were? Do you remember what went here under the abscissa? If you said z-scores, you are right on the money, because that's exactly what we use to navigate the normal probability distribution. We use z-scores. Okay? Now, and what are z-scores before we move on? Z-scores are units of standard deviation. Z-scores are units of standard deviation. The T probability distribution can be navigated as well. However, we're not going to have z-scores down here. It wouldn't make much sense to have z-scores on a T distribution, would it? So what do you think we're going to have down there on the abscissa or below the abscissa? We're going to have t-scores. And what are t-scores? T-scores are units of standard error. That's what t-scores are. And you already know how to calculate standard error for a sample, by the way. That's how you calculate standard error for a sample. You've seen this before. Standard deviation divided by the square root of n. T-scores are units of standard error. And this is something that I would recommend you commit to memory right now if possible. Z-scores are units of standard deviation, and we use z-scores to navigate the z-table, the normal probability distribution. T-scores are units of standard error, and we use t-scores to navigate the T probability distribution. Z-scores, units of standard deviation, and we use z-scores to navigate the z-table, the normal probability distribution. T-scores are units of standard error, and we use t-scores to navigate the T probability distribution. So, like the z-table and like the normal probability distribution, SPATS also gives us a t-table, which can be found here on page 388 of spats. So if you have your book, I would go ahead and open that book to page 388. If you don't have your book, then I would go ahead and download the T table, which is the same thing as in your book, the T table from Blackboard before we continue.